"Good morning, Matrim," Tam said brightly, hefting one of the brandy casks up onto the side of the cart. "I see you've come to help Rand unload the cider. Good lad." Matt leaped to his feet at the first word and began backing away. "Good morning to you, Master Althor, and to you, Master Alvier, Master Buey. May the light shine on you. My da sent me to—" "No doubt he did," Tam said, "and no doubt, since you are a lad who does his chores right off, you've finished the task already. Well, the quicker you lads get the cider into Master Alvier's cellar, the quicker you can see the Gleeman." "Gleeman?" Matt exclaimed, stopping dead in his footsteps. At the same instant that Rand asked, "When will he get here?" Rand could remember only 2 Gleemen coming into the 2 rivers in his whole life, and for one of those he had been young enough to sit on Tam's shoulders to watch. To have one there actually during bell time, with his harp and his flute and his stories and all, Emmonsfield would still be talking about this festival 10 years off, even if there were not any fireworks. "Foolishness," Sen grumbled, but fell silent at a look from Bran that had all the weight of the mayor's office in it. Tam leaned against the side of the cart, using the brandy cask as a prop for his arm. "Yes, a Gleeman, and already here, according to Master Alvier. He's in his room in the inn right now." "Arrived in the dead of night, he did?" The innkeeper shook his head in disapproval. "Pounded on the front door till he woke the whole family. If not for festival, I'd have told him to stable his own horse and sleep in the stall with it. Gleeman or not, imagine coming in the dark like that." Rand stared wonderingly. No one traveled beyond the village by night. Not these days. Certainly not alone. The thatcher grumbled under his breath again, too low this time for Rand to understand more than a word or two. Madman and unnatural. "He doesn't wear a black cloak, does he?" Matt asked suddenly. Rand's belly shook with his chuckle. "Black? His cloak is like every Gleeman's cloak I've ever seen. More patches than cloak, and more colors than you can think of." Rand startled himself by laughing out loud, a laugh of pure relief. The menacing black-clad rider as a Gleeman was a ridiculous notion, but he clapped his hand over his mouth in embarrassment. "You see, Tam," Bran said, "there's been a little enough laughter in this village since winter came. Now even the Gleeman's cloak brings a laugh. That alone is worth the expense of bringing him down from Baralone." "Say what you will," Sen spoke up suddenly. "I still say it's a foolish waste of money, and those fireworks you all insisted on sending off for—" "So there are fireworks," Matt said. But Sen went right on. "They should have been here a month ago with the first peddler of the year. But there hasn't been a peddler, has there? If he doesn't come by tomorrow, what are we going to do with them? Hold another festival just to set them off? That's if he even brings them, of course." "Sen," Tam sighed, "you've as much trust as a Terran ferryman." "Where is he, then? Tell me that, Althor." "Why didn't you tell us?" Matt demanded in an aggrieved voice. "The whole village would have as much fun with the waiting as with the Gleeman. Or almost, anyway. You can see how everybody's been over just a rumor of fireworks." "I can see," Bran replied with a sidelong look at the thatcher. "And if I knew for sure how that rumor started. If I thought, for instance, that somebody had been complaining about how much things cost, or people could hear him when the things are supposed to be a secret." Sinclair's throat. "My bones are too old for this wind. If you don't mind, I'll just see if Mistress Alvier won't fix me some mulled wine to take the chill off. Mayor? Althor?" He was headed for the inn before he finished, and as the door swung shut behind him, Bran sighed. "Sometimes I think Nynaeve is right about— well, that's not important now. You young fellows think for a minute. Everyone's excited about the fireworks, true, and that's only at a rumor. Think how they'll be if the peddler doesn't get here in time, after all they're anticipating, and with the weather the way it is, who knows when he will come. They'd be 50 times as excited about a Gleeman. And feel 50 times as bad if he hadn't come," Rand said slowly. "Even bell time might not do much for people's spirits after that." "You have a head on your shoulders when you choose to use it," Bran said. "He'll follow you to the village council one day. Tam, mark my words, he couldn't do much worse right now than someone I could name." "None of this is unloading the cart," Tam said briskly, handing the first cask of brandy to the mare. "I want a warm fire, my pipe, and a mug of your good ale." He hoisted the second brandy cask onto his shoulder. "I'm sure Rand will thank you for your help, Matrim. Remember, the sooner the cider is in the cellar." As Tam and Bran disappeared into the inn, Rand looked at his friend. "You don't have to help. Dad won't keep that badger long." "Oh, why not?" Matt said resignedly. "Like your dad said, the quicker it's in the cellar." Picking up one of the casks of cider in both arms, he hurried toward the inn in a half-trot. "Maybe Egwene is around. Watching you stare at her like a poleaxed ox will be as good as a badger any day." Rand paused in the act of putting his bow and quiver in the back of the cart. He really had managed to put Egwene out of his mind. That was unusual in itself, but she would likely be around the inn somewhere. There was not much chance he could avoid her. Of course, it had been weeks since he saw her last. "Well?" Matt called from the front of the inn. "I didn't say I would do it by myself. You aren't on the village council yet." With a start, Rand took up a cask and followed. Perhaps she would not be there after all. Oddly, that possibility did not make him feel any better.